Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel, not the allotment. I mentioned in the last video that I was going to be a little bit busy doing a project at home, and this is down the side of our house. Now, this has become a dumping ground for all my stuff for work and everything. The wife were getting really balled off, so finally got rid of everything. The wood stores, used to have a wood store on this wall. Got rid of everything and finally paved it out yesterday. Me and my pal Mick, he's not only a plot neighbour, he's also a house neighbour, lives just over the road. So we were hard at it yesterday. So all I've got to do today is get all the joints swept in with a sealing sort of filler, and it's good to go. And we also put the fence up last week, so that shed there, I'm gonna do that up, close it out, put 2 doors on it and keep all my little tools and everything in there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna finish my cup of tea. I'm busy, as I say, doing this today, so I'm gonna fly down to the allotment. I'm gonna put the runner beans in. I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit. I'm gonna put the runner beans in, and I'm maybe putting the Tigerella tomatoes in as well, and then I'm going to fly back up here and get these jobs done. And then what we'll do is we'll go back down tomorrow morning and do what we need to do then. So let's finish this and I'll see you down at the allotment. Well, we're down here at the allotment. Absolutely beautiful morning. Only me down on plot. I think it's about 7:15 now. I was up at about 5:10 this morning. I've had 3 cups of tea already. Yeah, only me on the plot, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I'll just give you a little look. I love this time of day. Best part of the day. Best part of the day. Unfortunately, most people sleep through it. Right, so what I'm going to do first of all, I've got to get in greenhouse, because did I get down yesterday? No, I didn't get down yesterday, but I watered the night before. So they had a thorough soaking the night before, so they were okay through yesterday. So there's no problems in here, but I'm going to give them another water, because I'm not going to be down here later on today either. So I'll get you in the greenhouse and I'll also show you my disaster of the sprouts. So let's get in here. So as I say, everything's not too bad in here. Nope's gasping for water. So it's a quick watering for everything. And then we'll get those runner beans in. I'm really pleased with how things have come on. These are my Shirley tomatoes. They're really nice and ready. What else have we got? The beetroot, which I put in these really tiny plug trays. They're virtually going to be ready to get transplanted out. Oh, do you remember the sick looking squash? Just 2 seconds, I'll be back with you, getting a phone call. Sorry about that, I'm back. Just a quick call, early call as well. Remember the sick squash that I had? What were they? Were they the... Oh, I forget what they were called now. The starburst... No, it's not. Sunburst squash. That is a healthier looking plant, nice and green, and it's grown some as well. That purely just putting that on, so I'm happy about those. What else is looking good? What else is looking good? The grandkids sunflowers are coming on, so I'll be getting them down to choose which ones they want. This is my, let's have a gander, Calabos. Red cabbage. That's coming on lovely. So I think this time, this year, I have been very patient and I started my seed sowing at the right time. So now these can comfortably go out and they're going out at the right size. They're not root bound, you know, I've not had to sort of like pop them on too many times. I mean, the sweet corn, that's one potting on. Now normally what I do, because I plant them so early, I'd end up having these at this stage, probably what, beginning of March. So I'd end up putting this on into another, so we're using a lot of compost. So just by timing things a little bit better, you save on compost and your plants don't get checked either. Right, lovely. Let's get outside and get the runner beans in. As I said earlier, on the way to the runner beans, I'll show you the sprouts. So I put 6 sprouts in here, and nearly half of them have just been decimated by what looks like slugs. I can see the sort of slug trail on them, but I can't see a slug in here. So luckily enough, I had some spare ones and I got them going when I saw the first signs of damage. So I've got some on there. Now I'm going to have to look and see if I can get hold of some slug pellets and try and protect these. Hey. Right, so here we are. Let me get down here so you can see me. Here are the runner beans. I neglected these. I didn't water them yesterday, so they've been sat out all yesterday. It was quite warm. Been sat out all day in the dry, but that is a lovely plant. And that I just saved some of the beans from last year, left them in the greenhouse along with the sweet corn that you can see in the back there. That was just one cob. I saved it in the greenhouse, let it dry out, and then took the seeds and I've used them again. So I'm quite pleased with those. So what I'm going to do is get these planted, one on each cane. I'm only putting 8 in because these are really prolific, and whilst we love them, we don't eat that many. So get the first one in, nice and deep. Remember, we did the bean trench, so this here is really, really nice and soft and moist. You know, it really does hold the moisture in. So I'm hoping that these guys go a bomb. Get them in and we'll get into the small greenhouse and get the Tigerella in. Over there. Another problem that I've found is I've got some onions in here, and I'm having issues. I'm having issues with slugs and slug damage. They're just getting into everything. Never used to have a problem with slugs on here, never. So it's me versus the slugs. It's war. Right, I'll crack on. I'll see you at the small greenhouse. So we're in the greenhouse, and the momentous day of getting the first tomatoes in. It's been a long time coming, and it's lovely to have the sun on your back while you're doing it. I said in here, I don't know, I said Tigerellas. It's not Tigerellas, it's the Black Russian that were given from Norman, one of my neighbours. So what I'm doing is I'm putting those on the back row, and I'm going to put some Roma on the front. A little bit condensed. They're all at least a foot apart, and I think that in a grow bag they're less than that. So let's crack on and get them in. As you saw the other day, I put some really nice manure in here, well rotted compost, and a little bit of fish blood and bone, and there was a little bit of well rotted manure put in right at the end of last season, so it should be, planting that in its pot then, it should be a powerhouse of a bed. He's inside there. Once I've done this, I'm going to definitely have to go to the garden centre and get some slug control, because they're really having a field day. And you don't want to be going to feed them, do you? You know? So, really healthy looking plant. He's that. Norman, who's a neighbour on the street, actually used to have the front allotment, and he had it for 50 years. And when I first came down here to look around the site, I overheard a guy saying, oh, well, there's Norman's plot. Norman's plot's available. Now, I knew that Norman had always been a keen gardener, you know, so I thought to myself, I'm going to make a beeline for that. So I says, which one's Norman's? And they showed me at the front. I says, I'll take this. He says, we haven't seen hot rest yet. I says, I'll take this. Norman is one of those old school growers, and what Norman doesn't know is not worth knowing. So I fell on really, really lucky. Right, there we go. That's all them in. All I need now is a lovely water. You know it's warm when I've got my old pins out. That's all I'm going to do today down here, other than go to the garden centre, come back, and I'm going to get that slug control down. I'm not giving him another night of pleasure. So I'll see you probably tomorrow, and hopefully the sun will be out. Take care, have a good day. Well, good morning. Welcome back to the channel and the allotment. Bit of a misty day today at this moment, but they say that mist is going to burn off and we're going to get another bright day. So I thought I'd come down early. I think we're around 7 o'clock, and I thought get something done, and I need to get back because another big day in the football calendar for Leeds United. So let's get up the plot and let's get cracking. Well folks, we're back in the small greenhouse, preparing the other bed. Yesterday we got these black Russians in here and the Roma. What I'm going to put in here today are some gold and some moneymaker. And what I'm going to do at this end is I'm going to plant one of the Blenheim orange melons, and then I'm going to use this framing to allow them to climb up and through. Fingers crossed we get some melons. So I'll show you the plants. Here we have the moneymaker, as you can see, the fair size and screaming to come and get planted. So I'm going to pop 6 of these in at the back. Now, I don't get too precious about my tomatoes, you know, and I'm admitting that I'm one of those people that will nip out. To start with, I'm all keen and everything, but when things start getting busy, I tend not to do it, and I end up getting quite a lot of thick side shoots, and I might have a little bit of a binge clean afterwards. But I still get loads of tomatoes, you know, at the end of the day. And like I say to everybody, you know, I'm not growing to show, I'm growing just to eat. So, you know, I don't get too precious with them. You know, I let them grow. Last year, if I remember rightly, I put a load of tomatoes outside. I didn't do any picking of the side shoots, nothing. I didn't even weed the bed. And I got absolutely tons of tomatoes. So don't worry too much about this whole thing of, you know, nurturing and mollycoddling them all the time. I don't think you need to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, you'll get a better produce, you'll get more, but if you're getting some, I'm happy with that, do you know what I mean? So, here's the melon. If you remember as well, that was looking very, very yellow, and I mentioned to you that I potted it on, and straight away now that looks much, much healthier. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to plant that there, and I'm going to give that a little bit of extra heat, and I'm going to put a propagator lid over the top of that just to try and keep that a little bit warmer, because melons do like it very warm. Right, I'll just lay these ones out. It's going to be like a jungle in here. But I love the smell of tomatoes. You walk into a warm greenhouse and that smell hits you. It's absolutely lovely. Now, I've done quite a lot of tomatoes, and a lot of them will go outside as well. But I do give a lot away. This is a bed at this side here behind, outside the greenhouse, is another tomato bed where you can see the frame. I'm going to be prepping that next week, getting that some nice fresh compost on top of there, weeding it and getting some tomatoes in there as well. So, right, I'll crack on and plant those and I'll get back to you. Right, so that's those planted. They're looking quite healthy and they should get themselves off to a good start. And as I say, I've put the Blenheim orange melon underneath that just to give it that little bit more warmth. Once it starts to get too big for that, I can take it off, by which point it should look after itself, and then I'm trying to get a cane onto that and get it growing onto this framework here. One thing I'm very shocked about is I planted those black Russian yesterday, and I'm sure the ones at the back there, I'm sure they've grown a couple of inches overnight. So yeah, I think these beds are going to prove to be really, really successful. Don't curse yourself, Malcolm. Right, okay, we're going to go down now and get some beetroot out. Right, so I've decided to put a few beetroot in this raised bed at the bottom right hand side of the plot. I was going to use this for salads, but I've changed my mind. So I'll nip up to the greenhouse and get the beetroot and let's get cracking. There we go. We've got these little plug plants and seem to have done quite well. So I'm going to get these slotted in here. Beetroot is probably my second favourite veg or salad, if you like. My first is parsnips. I love parsnips. Having said that, might be potatoes because I love chips. So yeah, what I'm going to do after I've planted these is I'm going to nip up to the greenhouse and sort out some plants for my daughter, Demi. She lives in North Yorkshire. I think I've mentioned her before. She lives on a farm just outside Whitby, and they get a lot of people there because they've got like a bunk barn. They get a lot of people there that do the coast to coast walk from St Bede's to Whitby. So she has finally, somebody in the family's finally gotten bitten by the bug of gardening. Because it's only me, but now my daughter Demi's into it. She's made some raised beds at the farm, and she's grown some produce from seed, and she's getting very excited. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some stuff on for her, so that when she comes down the next time she can take that back with her. And other than that, guys, I'm not going to be doing too much. I'm going to be going home. Leeds United versus Norwich City kicks off at 12:30, I believe. First leg of the playoffs. So, very important day. And then I'll be watching Arsenal hopefully beat Manchester United at 4 o'clock. So listen guys, thank you very much for watching and listening to my ramblings. I'll be back at some point midweek because obviously we're getting very busy now. We're getting things out. Things are starting to turn, so there'll be more videos as that develops. But until then, I'm going to bid you farewell. Have a great rest of the weekend. Have a lovely week, and happy growing.